All right, let's do this real quick. Let's talk about in-home presentation. So in-home presentation, one of the things that I think people try to do when they go through in-home presentation are they try to overcomplicate the whole process of an in-home presentation.
Yeah.
So let's go through like we're not going to talk about phone scripts. We're not talking about booking appointments. We have another video for that, but talk about in-home presentation. So go through the incremental steps of in-home presentation.
My biggest thing is first impression.
Okay.
So the presentation starts when you knock on the front door, and they let you in. All right. So I book my own appointments, so they already know kind of what my voice sounds like. I made sure they remember me, and your first impression when you knock on the door is everything, because people buy from people they like and trust. Okay, they don't trust you just yet, but first impression, you got to make sure they like you. My number one objective when I enter the home is to make a friend. So I talk to them about like commonalities. I look around their house. I ask them if they have kids, where they lived prior, if they liked their new neighborhood, if they just moved in, what they do for work, stuff they do in their off time, if they play golf, whatever. I get them comfortable in talking to me. I get them from sitting here like this to being a little relaxed and engaged. Always make sure that both parties, so husband and wife, if that's the case, if there's a spouse, make sure that we're sitting together at a kitchen table, never on the couch. People make decisions at their kitchen table. And then I like to have them both in front of me, to where that they're sitting next to each other and I can look at them both in their face. Okay, so I don't have to go back and forth. Now, people sometimes will tell you to sit on the couch or go sit over there. I direct them from as soon as I walk into the door, I'm in control. So this is my appointment. I know this is their house, but I'm in control from here on. So I'll navigate. I'll get them to the kitchen table where I do business. After making a friend, learning about them, I always open up my presentation with a question. People who ask questions are in control of the conversation. So my first question is, hey, Jared, do you know what mortgage protection is? Are you familiar with what it is? And I let them answer me. Most of the time, they'll say, yeah, it'll pay off the mortgage if I die. Jared, you're halfway there, man. So what mortgage protection is, it is a living benefits life insurance policy based on the amount of mortgage you owe. And I am very upfront with what exactly mortgage protection is, okay? Sometimes, and I don't understand why, but people want to skate around what mortgage protection is, and they don't necessarily want to tell them that it's life insurance, which in the end, when they get the policy in the mail and it says life insurance on it, then I wouldn't want to have to go back and resell it, right? So I'm very upfront. I'll tell them exactly what it is. It's a living benefits life insurance policy. It's something that they could relate to. They already know what life insurance is. Ta-da. What they probably don't know, and 90% of the people I sit with have no idea what living benefits is. And this is where you build the value of what it is that we're talking about, so that then we can differentiate what they probably currently have through work or private insurance versus what we're talking about now, living benefits. Okay, so I want to build the value from first sentence, pretty much.
Yeah.
So after I tell them it's a living benefits life insurance policy, I explain to them in very simple terms what that is. So Jared, yes, if you pass away, a tax-free check will go to your beneficiary to pay off whatever's remaining on the mortgage or help you make payments on the loan to protect you and your family against foreclosure. the living benefits, what that means, it's the ability to use this policy while you're still living. So any kind of heart attacks, strokes, cancer, debilitating car accidents, so critical, chronic, or terminal illness, or if you become disabled, it allows you to use a portion or all of the policy while you're still living. So my job. So after I explain that to them, I tell them what my job is. My job. I'm what they call a field underwriter. And I work with pretty much every top A-rated insurance carrier out there. There's like 20-something of them. So I'll be your broker in this process too. I'll ask you a few questions. I'll let you know what you qualify for. If it makes sense, Jared, I'll help you out. And I'll leave it at that. So after I make sure that they understand that, which they're always like, okay, cool. I always ask my number one question. What do you currently have that's protecting you? Do you have any kind of traditional life insurance, anything on or off the job? And they say yes or no. Reason why I ask that is because I want to get the elephant out of the room, right? I want to know what you currently have, and I want to make sure that you understand the difference between what you have and what we're talking about. So, and it doesn't matter what they say. Like, we're talking to pretty much most of the time grown adults. So they better have some sort of life insurance, right? Like you would want them to have something that's protecting them. You want them to have the presence of mind and the thought in their head that, maybe I should protect my family before I even get there.
Yeah.
So doesn't matter what they say. Chuck, yeah, I got insurance through work. Or, yeah, Chuck, I got a Primerica policy. Or, yeah, Chuck, some guy came over to my house last week and sold me this policy. Awesome. Cool. What's the name of the company and how much coverage do you have?
Yeah.
Okay. From there, I'll tell you, listen, if it's Primerica, they don't have living benefits.
Don't use carrier names.
If it's another company,
disclaimer, we don't want to beat down. Right? Yeah, disclaimer, we don't want to beat down any carrier.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I just want to know what they have. From there, I ask them about their mortgage. Okay. I confirm the information on the lead, so I understand, Jared, you have a $350,000 mortgage. Is this a 30-year mortgage? And then I let them answer. Most of the time, it's a 30-year. I ask them what their payment is. Okay. And one thing that I do that's very important is I take their mortgage payment. Let's just say it's $2,000, and I multiply it by 12 to see what they pay for the year. Their annual, what they pay for their mortgage for that full year. Okay. So in this case, it'll be $24,000. Okay. I write it down and I circle it. And I'm going to say, this is an important number. We might have to come back to it. I leave it at that. From there, I ask them if they plan to pay off their mortgage any faster, if they plan to do anything to pay off their loan any quicker. Did they give them any pointers on how to do that? Most of the time they say, yeah, we'll make extra payments, or yeah, we'll add some to the principal, blah, blah, blah. When they tell me that they're going to be paying off their 30-year mortgage faster, I tend to switch gears from a 30-year term to protect their mortgage to a 20-year. I rather a lot of 20 and 15 years. The average American doesn't stay in their house more than 15 years. So most of the time, it's between a 15 and a 20-year term that I write them.
Yeah.
I always lead in with term, okay? Why I do that? Because it's the cheapest way to get the most amount of insurance. You can convert most policies. If they ask me, hey, Chuck, what happens to my money at the end? I know that's a signal to maybe talk about a UL, a universal life policy, build cash value, or a CBO, cashback option. But if they don't say anything like that, I go forward. I ask them about their health. Hey, Jared, how's your health? Do you take any medications? Have you taken any medications in the past that you used to take that you no longer take? Any heart attacks, strokes, or cancer? Any medical information you think I need to know about that I didn't ask you about? I'm very thorough on that. Very, very thorough on that. I can't tell you how many times I've had to go back and ask questions about medications that they didn't tell me And it's something that drives me nuts. So I'm super, super thorough about it. I've realized very early on in my, career in financial services that most of the medications that people take are all the same. So I got pretty good at rattling off medications if they didn't remember what they took. But most of the time I say, hey, Jared, do you mind just going to grab those medications so I could see exactly how to spell them and the dosages that you're prescribed? They go, they get up, they grab their medications, and I go through them. So, Jared, you're taking amlodipine. What do you take this for? I don't assume what they take medications for. There's dual usages on medications that sometimes, it's used for one thing, but they're taking it for another. They prescribe metformin for weight loss remedies, and sometimes people don't have diabetes. So you have to ask questions. You can't just assume metformin is for diabetes. Once I go through that, I ask them about their income. Now, if it's husband and wife, I ask them separately. So how much income do you take in monthly after tax? Okay, they tell me. The reason why I ask about their income is I need to know who the primary breadwinner is in this household, because that person will be the person that I will really engage in the conversation and really direct the conversation to. So let's just say the wife takes in more income than the husband. Okay. I would then, after that, ask them, guys, if there was a loss in her income, would it make it difficult for you guys to live the lifestyle you're currently living and pay your bills and keep this roof over your head? And I sit back and I let them answer. Now, people sometimes will say, oh, yeah, no problem. And I then have to break it down for them, right? Like, let's just make sure I'm clear on this. So if you were to lose X amount of income, your mortgage payment is this. You have kids, you have car payments, you have cell phones, you have electric bill, you got water. You're going to be able to survive and live the current lifestyle you're living without X amount of income. And I sit there and I look at them dead in their face. And I let them answer. So most of the time, and you have to understand this, like most people that you sit with really have never written all of this stuff out on a piece of paper for them to think about and to really, put some thought to. You're just some strange person asking them all these questions, and now they're like, oh, I didn't really think of this. Oh, I didn't really understand the position that I was in. So it's our job to get that information out and get them talking about it. And to get them to realize the position that they're in. People live in a fairy tale land sometimes. And it's our job to really get that information and make sure people understand the implications and the possibilities of life, right? After that, I asked them, hey, if I can't get you approved, do you have anything else that would act like insurance? God forbid something were to happen. You have any kind of like 401ks, IRAs, mutual funds, CDs, any money buried in your backyard? Everyone laughs at that, by the way. But it's a way to get to understand what other assets that they have. And then I ran into it the other day. People have old 401ks or people have old IRAs that they no longer fund. And it's a very big opportunity for us as the agents to help them put that money into an indexed fund, whether that be an annuity or roll it into, if it's not qualified money, if they have the money buried in the backyard, you can roll that money into an IUL or help fund an IUL if their 401ks aren't being matched from what they're putting in. So it's a super, super important question to ask because, most of the times us as agents, we step over dollars to pick up pennies and we don't realize what we were leaving on the table. Now, as a new agent, if you don't know what to do with that information, just write it down and give it to a specialist or your manager, whoever will be able to help them out with that. We have a referral program through our company that we'll be able to help them out with. And then, so from there, I look at the information and I say, all right, guys, I understand why I'm here. Let me show you some options that I think would fit for you guys. Give me a few seconds. Now, as a new agent, I direct all my new agents to call their upline or their product specialist, so that then we can relay the information to that product specialist to be able to find the product and the company that would best fit them, to get them approved right away. From there, we give 3 options each. I like the 3 options. We try to get as much coverage as we can to fit within a budget, a little bit less, and then a little bit less. You find it that about 75% of the time, they'll pick that middle option. So, I don't like giving more than 3 options because I don't like giving them too much to think about. I hate the excuse, hey, I got to think about it. To me, it's either you didn't build enough value to what it is, or you didn't explain it enough, or it's the pricing. So from there, you might have to work through a rebuttal, which is fine, which is natural. People don't like to be sold; they like to be helped. So that's the angle that I really like to take in my presentation. Is listen, I'm just here to help you. If they continue to say, oh, I got to wait, I got to think about it, I say, hey, Jared, listen, my job is I'm a field underwriter. All I'm able to do is the request for coverage to make sure we can get you approved. Out of these options, what do you think would best fit your budget? Knowing that once we get you approved, we can change it to an option that you would rather have. What do you think would be best for your budget now? And I let them answer. Is it 100% foolproof? No. But I think if you follow the simple steps and you build the value and you explain to them properly and you're clear and you know enough. You don't have to know everything. That's what product specialists are for. That's what your manager is for. To then you're able to give them a call and get them on the phone to help you out in that time. You don't have to be an expert. So don't try to be. But my biggest thing is be presentable and to be clear with what you know and to make them be confident in you to be that person to help them out with something that's very important, right? So that's my process.
Cool. I like it. Cool. That was perfect.